All right, let's move on. We have another note here. We just know that you already know that square root of x is not same as square root of negative x, and you can never take this negative out. And but this is not the same for odd index. You have an even index here. The root here is 2, but here the root is 3 in the second example. So cubic root of 3, cubic root of negative x is same as negative cubic root of x. So if the index is odd, then we can take minus out. But if the index is even, then you cannot take minus out. So according to this note, we can say cubic root of x is an odd function, because when you switch your x with negative x, it will be negative cubic root of x. It will be the opposite result. So this function is an odd function. So this is just an example you may face. Let's solve a ministry question now. 2020-21 ministry exam question. Which one is symmetric with respect to y-axis? Meaning, which one is even? So we have another type of question here. Option A and option D are different. I didn't explain this. Now I'm going to explain these type of questions. So if your function is not written as f of x equals something or y equals something, x and y together, then you have to write this equation as y equals something or f of x equals something form. You have to write this as the questions that we solved in the previous questions, the form in the previous questions. So let's isolate y first. We should isolate y. So for option A, so take y as a common factor. So y, x squared remains, 3 remains here, minus x squared equals 0. Bring minus x squared to the other side. Y times x squared plus 3 is x squared. And divide both sides by x squared plus 3. So y becomes x squared over x squared plus 3. So that is the way of solving these kind of questions. If x and y are together in the equation, you should isolate and you should isolate y. Get y by itself and decide what you have. So by using the first way, switching x with negative x, so it gives you negative x negative x squared over negative x squared plus 3. Negative x squared is positive x squared. Negative x squared is positive x squared. So I see the same result. The results are same result, meaning even function. If the function is even, it is symmetric with respect to y-axis. So option A is true. Now let's take a look at some trigonometric functions. So let's remember the rules first from grade 11. The rules of cosine, sine, and tangents. Cosine minus x is cosine x, sine minus x is minus sine x, tan minus x is minus tan x. So by changing the x with minus x, result won't change. So cosine function is an even function. So cosine x is even. So by changing the sign of x for sine, the result becomes opposite. You have minus in front, which means sine x is an odd function. And by replacing the x with minus x, result becomes opposite. So tangent x is also an odd function. So we will solve questions accordingly. First question, sine squared x. Sine squared x is sine x times sine x, right? You multiply it by itself twice. Sine x is an odd function. I'm going to use Hackways. by odd, multiplying odd functions like x by x squared, result becomes even. Odd multiplied by odd, result is even. The other one, x is multiplied by sine x is an odd function, sine is an odd function. You multiply two odd functions, odd by odd, it is even. So by Hackaway, it's so simple. X by cosine. X is odd, cosine is even. Multiplying odd by even, like x by x squared, it is x cubed, which is odd. Like this. If you don't remember the Hackaway, you can use easy functions like x squared to do to figure out what the result is. So odd by even is odd. Similarly, the last one here, x is an odd function, sine is odd, odd minus odd will be odd, and x squared is even function, cosine is also even multiplied by even is also even. We have odd divided by even, which gives us an odd function. Okay, let's move on with a ministry question. Ministry exam question 2022 first attempt. Which one is symmetric with respect to y-axis? Which one is even? We are going to solve each option one by one. So just because we have an exponent, an even exponent here too, doesn't mean that the whole expression is even. We don't have just x squared. We have a quantity here, 2x minus 5. In every option, we have this situation. It's not just x something squared. It's something x minus something squared if we have a quantity. So we have to expand first. So for such questions, we have to expand first. So let me try option A first. 2x minus 5 squared. Remember, if there is a minus b squared, the expansion rule is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So first one squared, 2x squared, minus 2 times first one times second one plus second one squared. Okay, plus 20x. 2x squared is 4x squared. 2 makes 2 times 2 makes 4. 4 times 5 makes 20. Minus 20x plus 5 squared makes 25. Here you have plus 20x. So minus 2x and plus 2x will cancel each other. We just are left with 4x squared plus 25. So is this an even function or odd? So let's just take a look at this. 4x squared is an even function. 25 is also an even function. Adding two evens will give you even. So option A is an even function, meaning it's symmetric with respect to y-axis. So no need to try others. If the correct answer were in the last option, so you would try every option. Okay, let's move on with 2022 second attempt ministry question. It's asking which one is even. Which one is even? Try options and see which one is even. 5x, x, it's an odd function. I'm gonna use shortcuts. 4 is even. So adding odd and even gives you neither. So if you have neither inside, you have neither outside. So this is not even. Check option B. X is an odd function. Cosine is an even function. Odd multiplied by even gives you odd. So this is not your answer either. Tangent is an odd function. This is not your answer either. 3 over x squared. 3 is an even function. It's a number. X squared is an even function. The power is 2. Even divided by even is even. So C is our answer. Okay, there's a different type of question here. 2017 first attempt ministry question, and this is also in the book, study guide 13. Which one is symmetric with respect to origin and has two x-intercepts, -2 and +2? So We have two topics in one question here. Let's check symmetry first. I'm gonna use the shortcuts. X squared is even, 4 is even, even plus even is even. X to the 5 is odd, so even over odd is odd. So this is a possible answer, option A. Option B, x squared is even, 4 is even, even minus even is even, x to the fourth is also even divided by even is even. So that's not our answer. I am looking for an odd function because it's symmetric with respect to origin. X squared minus 4, x squared is even, minus 4 is even minus even is even, x squared is also even over even, so that's not my answer either. Option C, x squared minus 4 is even, x cubed is odd, result is odd, so that's also a possible answer. I checked symmetry, so two options remained. Now let's check x-intercepts. Our x-intercepts are supposed to be negative 2 and 2, meaning negative 2 comma 0 and 2 comma 0 must satisfy the function. Let's look at option C. When you substitute 2 0, 2 for x, 0 for y, does it satisfy? 2 squared is 4, 4 minus 4, 0, 0 over 2 cubed is equal to 0, that's true. Substitute negative 2 0. Negative 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 4 0. 0 over negative 8 is also 0. So that's also true. So our answer is option C. Like this. One by one. You can check all together. Check one of them first and the other one. Eliminate some options. Do the others. Do the remaining with the other options. Again, 2022 second attempt ministry question. This time it's asking about an odd function. So remember the relation for the odd function. What was the relation? F of minus x equals minus f of x. So I'm looking for this relation in options. This is very easy question, right? Just look at this relation. F of x equals minus f of minus x. Isn't it true? Isn't it the same relation? F of x equals f of minus x. So you may say it's not, but it is. I can write negative here on the right or on the left. It is their equivalent. So writing negative on the right is same as writing negative on the left. It doesn't make any difference. It's like multiplying both sides by negative. Left hand side becomes negative, right hand side becomes positive. So option A is true. Option B, f of x is minus f of minus x is equal to 0. You bring f of minus x to the other side, so it makes f of x equals f of minus x, which is an even functions relation. F of minus x is not equal to minus f of x. It means it is not an odd function, but it is an odd function. And option C is about derivative. We are going to study derivative in chapter 3. Alright, another question. This year's ministry question, first attempt. Which one is symmetric with respect to y-axis? It's asking about an even function. So we have a topic in chapter 3. We will be studying the graphs of these two functions. It will be much more easier to identify the symmetry here without solving. By just looking at the function, you can say which one is even after we study that topic in chapter 3. But for now, we can solve this question by converting these fractional exponents to radicals. You know, x to the 1 over 2 represents square root of x to the 1 over 3 represents cubic root of x to the 3 over 2 represents x cubed inside radical, and the last one is x squared inside radical, and index is 3, so cubic root of x squared. So You can solve these questions by changing your x with negative x. So see if the result is opposite or the same. For option A, square root of x, by by switching the x with negative x, f of minus x, it's going to be square root of minus x. Is this the same result? No, not same. Is this the opposite result? No, not opposite. In order for this to be opposite, the minus should be outside of radical. So that's not an even function. It's not an odd function. Either it's neither. Check B. Switch x with negative x. F of minus x is cubic root of minus x. You can take minus out because index is out. So minus cubic root of x. So the result is not same. It's opposite result. So it is an odd function. So option B is not our answer either. Option C is similar. We're gonna get an odd result. Option D, on the other hand, f of minus x, replacing x with minus x will give you the same result because minus x squared is same as plus x squared. So we have cubic root of x squared, the same results. Since the results are same, we have same results. Same result means we have an even function. So option D is even. This is pretty nice question and easy. You can solve it by first sight after you study chapter 3. Okay, 2023 second attempt, the same year. Which one verify the given condition? F of minus x is not equal to minus f of x. What is this condition? If there were an equality here, this condition would be a condition for odd function, right? But there is no equality, there is inequality. So we will say this is not an odd function. The question is asking which option is not odd. So check each option one by one. Try options. Option A, 3 minus x. Let me write not odd here and delete this one and solve each option. So number 3 is an even function. Negative x is odd. The power is 1 for x. So we have even minus odd is neither. So it is neither. It's not odd. Option B, x squared is even, sine x is odd. Adding even and odd to different functions will give you neither, none of it. So it's not odd. So this is also true. Option A is true. Option B is true. The answer is supposed to be not odd. Option A is not odd, it's neither. Option B is not odd, it's either, neither. Option C, check option C, cosine 2x. A cosine function is an even function, so it's not odd either. So option C is also true. So all of them are true. It's also nice question. Last question, but not least, this is also pretty nice question. Find the result. We are given a table. Some x values, some y values, we are given ordered pairs. And the question is, suppose that the function is odd. So this in this table, the given ordered pairs represent an odd function. So what's the relation in an odd function? Remember the relation. F of minus x equals f of x minus f of x, sorry. So it means when we switch the value, the sign of x, the result will switch. The sign of result will be switched too. So we will have an opposite result. So by using this idea, we will solve this question. By switching the sign of x, the result will be opposite. So f of 2. So your x value is 2. Look at the x values. The first row represents the x values. Find 2 in the first row. Do you see any 2 here in the first row? No, you don't. But you see negative 2, right? So what is negative 2? F of negative 2 is 64. F of negative 2 is 64. What I need is f of 2. So I should change the sign of x. So when I change the sign of x, the result must be opposite because the given function is odd, right? Use this idea. So change the sign of x, make negative 2, 2. So you should also change the sign of y. So 64 becomes negative 64, right? What about negative f of negative 4? So you find negative 4 in the x values. I don't see any negative 4 here, but I see 4. So what's the value of f of 4? It is negative 80. So what do I need? I need to change the sign of x. Make 4 negative 4. So by changing the sign of x, the result must be changed too. How do you change the result? You just take the opposite result. What is opposite of negative 80? It is 80. So answer is obvious. Negative 64 plus 80 gives you positive 16. So I covered pretty much everything about symmetry.